DaveOsound, man, what's going on? How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, Trey?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Man, first and foremost, appreciate you for giving us your time today and also coming out here.
Oh, I got you, man. Like I said, I finally got some free time. I know we were supposed to do an interview a while back, but hey, I'm here. Let's go.
Look, the time is now. So, just getting started. DaveOsound. Let's get into before we get into your background, let's just get into your name. How did your name come about?
So actually, I originally was Davo, just Davo, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then everybody was Davo. A lot of, I go to type in Davo, and then there's a bunch of people already that have the name Davo or whatever, and I'm like, man, I've been called Davo since I was a kid, but it is what it is. I can't be, you know what I'm saying? You can't search Davo and then a bunch of Davos come up.
Yeah.
And so that's why whenever I put out my music, it was under Davo, but then my label was DaveOsound. So I'd be like, DaveOsound, shout out my label, whatever. Well, guess what? I ended up changing my complete name to DaveOsound to avoid that. So now whenever people search DaveOsound, it just avoids that whole situation. So that's when I became DaveOsound. And then the whole little trademark with it, the sound.
Yeah.
They just started loving that. So now I make out people, they see me like, what's up? DaveOsound. It's a little catchy.
So, how long ago did you make the change?
I made the change probably 4 years ago, I believe.
Okay.
And when I did that, honestly, I used to be really active on Instagram. Like I said, I was kind of coming up in a way, without even promoting myself. And when I made the change, I actually had to delete all of my old music under Davo. And I lost, fans that legit was, like loving my music. So when I did that, I basically had to restart everything. And at that point, I had started getting serious with my career. So I kind of put the music to the side. Yes. And that's one of the main reasons that I haven't really promoted anything and been so low key is because I've been so focused on my career as an electrician. Hence why all of my music is themed with voltage.
Makes sense. It's different too, and it's creative. So I love the creativity that you got going on. So with the name itself, you started your own label, correct?
Well, it's my label, yeah. It's just me though. I haven't signed any artists, and I'm still not planning on it. I'm just independent. I don't want to sign to any label.
Makes sense. Ever. So you want to do your own thing. I'm
gonna do my own thing forever. So I don't care how big I get. Like I'm DaveOsound under DaveOsound. It is what it is.
So what made you have that mindset as far as just never wanting to sign and just staying independent?
Ever since it's been my whole like vibe. I've always kind of been like one deep, kind of solo, kind of vibe. So that's just how I've been.
Makes sense.
And I don't think I'm gonna change, honestly.
Never gonna change. So if a label, say for example, Quality Control, come to you today or tomorrow with a deal on the table and a contract, you gonna walk away?
It depends how much money they're talking about. If they're talking about something that's gonna change my life forever, then yeah.
Okay.
If they're talking about some bullshit that's just gonna keep me like, financially stable for the next 10 years, I'm not interested. I could get it on my own,
Makes sense. So how long ago did you start your own label?
This was when I started making music, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been in the works pretty much. Like or for example, it's always been an idea and you just kind of put it into fruition and made it happen.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I like to turn dreams into reality. That's what I do.
No, that's dope.
I want to dream about anything I want to happen, I make it happen. Like I don't believe in that something can't happen. Once I think it, I make it a reality.
Makes sense. I love that though. I love that. So as far as just yourself, can you tell the fans and the supporters that's watching where you're from and just a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so basically I moved around a lot when I was little because my dad had traveled for work and everything. But I was born in Port Arthur, Texas, and that's where I hung out and everything as a kid, growing up. I wasn't on my best behavior, especially being in that area and hanging out with who I was hanging with. But I want to get it clear, though. Nederland, Texas. Shout out to Nederland, Texas. That's where I went to high school. That's where I spent a lot of my time. Now, granted, that's 2 minutes from Port Arthur, but I just want to shout out Nederland, Texas, because that is where I spent, my high school and everything, and that's where my residence was and everything. But at the same time, Port Arthur, Texas, the land of the trill, that's, what I'm saying? That's where I was at. Besides being there all the time, it's the same area. So
is that more so like a small town, just for the people that might not have
exactly? Yeah, that's what it is. So they got Nederland, Port Neches, Groves, kind of all surrounding Port Arthur, and a lot of people they go to Nederland or Groves or whatever because it's a little bit of a better school district, and so that's why I went there. But besides that point, I mean, I was in Port Arthur. I get out of school, go straight to PA. And
Makes
so
sense.
that's how it is. And that's why I made that song "Land of the Trill" about Port Arthur. And they play that in the clubs, well, I say clubs, but they got a place called Dylan's that they jam it all the time. I walk in there every once in a while. Sometimes they got it on. That stuff makes me happy, because
Man.
I don't even promote it, but they respect that song because it's chopped and screwed. Actually, shout out to K Shells because he honestly did such a great job on that.
Oh man, that's dope. And I know that it's a great feeling, walking into anywhere and then hearing your own track. So would you say that you have a lot of supporters out there in Port Arthur?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, a lot of people, they have a lot of like hometown hate, from what I hear from everybody else and everything. Is always like, you check your streams or whatever on Apple Music and your top 3 cities will always be cities that aren't your hometown or whatever. But I mean, my top 3 cities a lot of times will be Beaumont, Houston, Port Arthur, stuff like that. So the fact that a lot of people have love for me and don't have hate for me is an amazing thing. But I do believe a large part of that is because I am very, how do I put this? I just show love to everybody and it reciprocates. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not one of them dudes that just be like, hey, fuck everybody from my hometown, like, so I'm just,
No, that's
it is
dope.
what it is. I mean, of course I got some haters, some people that are mad that I'm where I'm at, but the people that support me, they outweigh those people that hate me. Like, those people are nobody to me,
Gotcha. So you say you was born and raised out there, right?
Yeah, Southeast Texas.
Okay. So what brought you out to Houston?
Houston, well, that's where I actually, as soon as I graduated, that's where I was every weekend. I was spending every single weekend here, and that's when I've always been, in the Houston rap scene. I have a lot of friends and stuff that are, artists and everything from here, and so I would just spend time here. It was like, hey, it's the weekend, boom, straight to Houston.
So
all my friends
was it?
too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, was it friends or family that was in Houston?
Yeah, there's a lot of friends. All my friends, my best friends, everybody, they moved to Houston.
Oh wow.
And some of them made music and stuff as well, and some of them were producers. So I ended up kind of getting into that scene, but I've always been, making music just low key. But then I started actually recording, and that's when it started to get really fun. Making a song is the best feeling.
So, as far as your upbringing, how was your upbringing, and then also what kind of made you want to get into music?
I wanted to get into music just because it was my passion. I mean, I literally will wake up in the morning and I'll have some type of verse in my head, some type of hook in my head, and I will open up my phone, click voice recording, and I will literally just put it in there. And then maybe a few days later, I'll get a beat pack sent to me, and then whatever I had recorded is like a perfect hook for the beat that I got. And I'm like, that's not a coincidence. Next thing you know, I go to the studio and I turn it into a reality, and then I watch it get mixed and mastered. I put in my intake, the engineer puts his intake, and then it becomes an actual song. I put it out there, and then I have people literally tell me, hey, I love that song. I listen to it to get through tough times and this and that, and it just inspires me. Like, I may not have, a big fan base at all right now just because I do zero promotion, which makes a huge difference. But at the same time, for the few people that listen to me, I love y'all so much because y'all are the reason I do this.
Most definitely. I mean, whether it's a big fan base or a small fan base, it's still a fan base. And I would say it's a loyal fan base at that. So
Yeah.
you know that, your supporters are actually rocking with you.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, what age did you start making music?
So I actually started when I was like maybe 14 or 15, just like freestyling and stuff, right? By the time I was 17, I go to a local party or whatever, and I was that person that they'd be like, hey, Dave, bust a freestyle. So that's where I started freestyle rapping, right? Yeah. And like I said, I've traveled a lot. And I'm half Mexican. Shout out Latino Ganga.
Oh, yeah.
I'm half Mexican and I'm half Canadian.
Oh, wow.
My dad's from Canada, my mom's from Mexico. So I guess that makes me unique in some type of way or whatever.
So are you bilingual?
Yeah, sí, yo español, pero no hablo todo. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can speak like maybe 70% Spanish, but just enough to talk to the Latinas, and that's what matters because I love Latinas.
No, facts, man. As I was going to say, man, at least that you actually able to speak Spanish. So can you speak and write Spanish or just speak Spanish?
No, I don't really write too well, I mean, I can understand it like when I see it in the text, but if I'm in the text back, like sometimes I'll just kind of cheat a little bit. I'll use, little translate or something. Yeah. Just because I don't want to sound a little stupid,
Makes sense.
But when it comes to talking it, I'm a lot better at talking it and understanding it than I am reading and writing it.
So as far as your upbringing, did you have a lot of family that actually supported you when you first started making music or even just recording verses in your phone?
Yeah, I mean, my family's always been supportive, but at the same time, I think my friends have been more supportive when it comes to, making rap music, and everything. Obviously, my family wanted me to focus more on, my career and everything and a long-term success, because in reality, when you start making music and everything, whatever genre it is, people are always going to be like, hey, you need to put your career first and then focus on that. You know what I'm saying? But that's so true, though. A lot of people, a lot of artists come into the game and they're like, hey, I'm going to be a rapper. And they got no job. And guess what? It costs money to make a song. It does. You got to pay for studio time. You got to pay for production. You got to pay for all that. And then once you start paying for promotion, that's even more than all that, So
Definitely.
if you want to make it in the music industry, you got to have an actual job to support that. You can't just, I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. Some people do it, but that's like a very rare thing.
No, very, very rare. Which is why you see so many people in messed up deals, especially because a lot of people they don't know at all about the music industry, and then how it works with labels when they have to pay for, like you said, studio time, music videos,
Exactly.
everything. And like you said, it definitely does add up. So if you're doing it out of pocket, man, salute to you, man,
Yeah,
for sure.
everything is solo, one deep. And that's why, like, I used to listen to Zero when I was younger. I mean, I'm sure a lot of y'all know Zero. He's a Houston legend. And so I used to listen to him to get through some tough times or whatever that I was going through. And just in general, we used to freestyle to his beats and everything. And then I grew up, and then I have a song with him right now sitting in my laptop. So it's like it feels like a dream come true, And that's supposed to drop. I'm probably going to drop it around September, October this year because I'm tired of just letting it sit in my laptop. So that's coming soon, and that's going to be a big thing. I mean, I may drop it, and it may be, what I'm saying,
No, for
might
sure.
be a big hit. I mean, it's a Texas anthem. I know that. So
Most
everyone's going to be
definitely.
excited once it comes out.
Man,
Obviously that.
so let's just talk about the song with Zero before we, move forward. Because like you say, it feel like a dream come true in a sense. From listening to him growing up to actually being face to face with him, creating that relationship and that connection, but then also having him hop on your song and not you hopping on his.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what's amazing, and whenever, shout out to Derek, his manager, whenever he told me that Zero loved the song and, he wanted to get on it and everything, I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe that response. I was like, I thought it was going to be like, I guess I'll get on it to this, whatever. But it turned out to be where I got the verse back, right? And I was expecting it to be, just like a, just a
Mediocre or
verse.
something.
This verse right here is literally, and I've been listening to Zero forever. I really think it's one of his best verses, and it's on my song. And I'm like,
Crazy.
I'm so humbled I'm ready to drop this. Like, you guys are,
Do you have a date?
an exact date? No, I do not. I
Not
do not
yet.
have an exact date because I have this little EP that they're actually kind of throwaway songs, and I started working with this producer in Metairie, and he's very, very good at what he does. He's a really good audio engineer. So he actually revived two or three out of the 5 songs. And so I'm actually going to drop them on, 2 weeks from now? Yeah, I'm going to drop them.
Okay, man, that's dope, man. I would say I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I know for a fact the supporters are also. But growing up in PA, in Port Arthur, do you have anybody that kind of inspired you or that you looked up to?
Well, I mean, just being from Port Arthur already, being from the same place, where Bum B, Pimp C, everybody, the whole underground king thing, everything, like, it's just, it already inspires you a little bit. Like, hey, like, I'm from the same city as, 2 of the biggest people really in the rap. Like, I mean, when you think about it, Southeast Texas, Houston, everything, it's a big, big, inspiration to the rap scene, and of course you got Atlanta and LA and all that stuff, but Houston is a big part of the rap culture, and Southeast Texas, Port Arthur, 2 of the major artists are from there, so.
For sure. So, I would say, what rappers actually influenced you growing up?
Honestly, especially with me, who would be? Well, Zero started, like I said, listening to Zero, that started kind of inspiring me to want to make music because I used to freestyle to his beats. Me and my friends would all get together, and shout out to Chandler Broadcay. He's one of my childhood best friends. Me and him would just be freestyling back to back, and to like the Mo City Dawn freestyle. Obviously, that song's,
Yeah, it's very
how
popular.
long is that song? Yeah. So we'd be like freestyling to that and everything. And then I started really Mac Miller, that guy right there.
No, Mac Miller's a dope
That man
artist
Mac
as well.
Miller, he kind of paved the way to where like, you know, you can kind of rap about like the whole party, have fun type vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Because the way music is now, like y'all already know what I'm trying to say, you know, everybody kind of acts a little like, hey, you know, I gotta be a little more savage than I should be, realistically, you know.
It's a lot of dissing going on in the songs. Everybody want to be hard or street, you know, when it comes to the
Everybody
music
wants to
scene.
be like that, and 90% of them aren't. And I know that for a fact because I know, you know, I know some of them.
Yeah,
And
facts.
so that's why when Mac Miller was doing his thing, and rest in peace to him, you know, if he was still alive right now, I already know like he would be, man, it sucks, honestly, that he's not here anymore. But the fact that he was making this whole, you know, chill vibe, like just have fun, you know, party, you know, and everything, and he wasn't acting any type of way that he wasn't, you know.
He was just being himself.
Exactly, and that's what I am. I'm always be myself. You can listen to any one of my songs, and I guarantee you can ask any one of my friends. Everything that I rap about is a fact, you know. I mean, you can. My boy Kid Trav, he can vouch for you right now, right now, you know. So, that's the thing. Being real is one of my main things. I don't care like if a song's gonna be a little bit less heard or listened to just because I'm not, you know, acting like, you know, if I'm acting like someone else, but I'd rather be myself than.
Nah, I definitely agree with you. So when it comes to Mac Miller, do you kind of see Mac Miller in you as far as the music? Like,
well, I'll tell you something crazy. That it's funny that you said that because I never really thought about it. But I was at Spire a while back as a little after party.
Yeah.
And crazy thing happens in Houston, and somehow I ended up backstage with Marley G and Sway Lee. Okay, and Sway Lee's obviously Sway Lee, and so I was freestyling with Marley G, which rest in peace to him. I honestly believe I was one of the last people to talk to him because 2 weeks after I talked to him, he passed away in Baton Rouge.
That's crazy.
Yeah, So that was sad really to hear about that, especially after him talking about us possibly collaborating. His manager was right there with me and we're talking about doing a song, and then 2 weeks later he's gone, you know. But Sway Lee literally told me that I reminded him of Mac Miller.
Wow.
And he literally said, "You're the next Mac Miller." And when he said that, I was like, bro. That's why one of my songs, I was like, Sway Lee said, "I'm next up. I expect you to dress me properly." Like,
no, facts.
My lyrics
like
are not like, yeah.
It's facts. Like you say, everything in your song is facts.
Yeah.
So you did mention that you did freestyle a lot. So when it comes to your music now, is it still a lot of freestyling, or are you writing a little bit more?
Yeah, so it's like, to me, I don't know, it might sound a little weird or whatever, but like when you just freestyle only, it's like you kind of write songs less or whatever. But whenever you're just writing songs to beats, it's like when someone asks you to freestyle off top, a lot of artists, they're kind of like, you know, they got to have it written in their head or whatever. And so like I try to keep a balance because I don't want to be in that situation. So I freestyle when I get time. I'll literally be on my way to Lafayette, you know, back to Lake Charles or whatever, and I'll just start freestyling, you know, till I get beat packs nonstop sent to my email. And so I'll just click on one of them and I'll start freestyling to it. That way I can stay on top of my freestyle game. And then on top of that, I'm also writing music. I'll head from Houston to Port Arthur, and on the way there, I will write a whole song, literally. Like I'll.
So with that being said, how long do you think it usually takes you to make one song?
I mean, my boy K-Shells can vouch for me. He's literally said, "Hey, I'm open right now if you want to come through to the studio in Beaumont. I'll be in Port Arthur. I won't even have any material ready. I will literally hit up Baker. He sent me a beat pack. I picked one beat. I showed up to the studio 20 minutes later. On the way there, I was literally writing to it. And then whenever I got there, I recorded it. And that was it. It happened that fast. Another time, K-Shells can also vouch for me. I was on the way back from Pittsburgh. I literally landed off the airplane. I went straight to the studio in Houston. I literally was still having jet lag. And I recorded the song Overpriced. You can listen to that on East Coast Energy. And that's one of my favorite songs just because I wrote that on the plane, on the way to Houston from Pittsburgh. I got off of the plane, went straight to the studio, and recorded it. And it was like I think a 1 hour session. Sent it to 30K in LA, mixed and mastered it, boom, 3 days later. And guess what? That's one of my most streamed songs, and it's one of the smoothest songs. One of my favorite songs I've ever recorded just because of how the time frame, you know.
So can you talk about the streams? How many streams does it have currently?
Currently, I mostly keep track of like the cities that it's being streamed in because that's that's important to me, to know where it's being streamed at or whatever.
Makes sense.
But as far as the numbers, I'm not gonna lie to you, they're low right now.
Mm-hmm.
I do zero promotion.
Yeah, like you say, zero
It's just
promotion.
like, hey, if I do it, I really do it for me, honestly. Like, if you want to be honest, like, I do it for me and the people that listen to it.
Facts.
Like, if you take the time out your day to be like, hey, let me look, up or whatever, let me listen to it, and then, like, that's mad respect, and then you share it with your friends and all that. Every single song that's being streamed on my Apple Music and everything, it's literally by word of mouth. And that's what means a lot to me. I've done zero promotion on any of my music.
And like you say, you've done zero promotion, but word of mouth is always the biggest promotion, So,
and that's why I feel like even though my fan base is like very small, I honestly think that it's realer to have a fan base that is small, that is legit and everything.
That's why I said small and loyal versus having a big fan base.
Exactly.
That's not really your fan. They just with you for the moment.
Dude, and not even that. Like, you know how many people I've seen like that are, I don't want to be a jerk or anything, but there's artists that are like literally trash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have like 20 streams on a song, and then a month later it'll say 47K streams. Like, everybody knows you bought them streams.
Yeah, exactly. And make it make sense.
I don't know. There's so many artists that buy their streams on Spotify. You look at my Spotify, that's dead. You know what I mean? But then you look at another artist at Spotify that makes music that's, not equivalent to mine in any aspect, and they'll have thousands and thousands of streams. And it just screams, hey, I bought these streams, And I've had people hit me up, hey, I can get you this, I can get you that, this promotion deal and all this, but I don't want to do that, I'd rather someone look at it and be like, dang, he don't even have a lot of streams, But
so when it comes to streams, can you just talk to the audience about the revenue side of things? Because people do know that you can get paid from streams, but a lot of people just don't know how.
Streams don't pay anything. If you don't believe me, just Google it right now. Streams do not pay anything. I'm talking about the percentage you get from streams.
It's so small.
You might as well not even make music unless you're, Drake or somebody like that. Then yes, obviously you're gonna make millions off of streams. But I could probably get 100,000 streams right now. I'm not sure what the exact dollar amount would be, but it would be something that I'd be like, "Are you serious? Like 100,000 people listen to this, and I got this much money."
Probably $25 or $50.
Exactly. Yeah. How you make money is shows. You do shows, and that's how you really make money. I know this because, like I said, I have friends that are pretty high up in the music industry. Shows are one of the main ways that you make music. But to do that, you have to have a strong fan base for people to show up your show.
Exactly, buy the tickets.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the thing. Like I was saying about those artists that buy streams, they can't sell 4 tickets to a show. Honestly, they can't in their city. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I could sell 50 tickets to a show, and they might have 100,000 more streams than me.
Yeah.
And that's sad, but hey, that's the way it is now, so.
But that make you think too that streams really don't matter like people think they do.
They don't, bro. They really
crazy.
Don't. It matters. Like, I've had a lot of people like in my DMs telling me that my songs inspire them, that they work out to my music and this and that. And these aren't just people from my hometown trying to be friendly. These are people like in different countries, in different states. Hey, I heard of you, or whatever. Somehow you popped up and I literally love your song, this and that. I've had someone tell me and my kids listen to your music, which makes me want to like kind of clean things up a little bit, But overall, yeah, man, it's an amazing feeling, whenever I know that all of my listeners are legit, And then even like when you get the Spotify Wraps back, obviously my Spotify Wrapped is trash compared to like other artists that, buy streams or even that are better or whatever. But at the same time, it's so worth it because it shows me this one statistic, right? And it says this many people listen to your music more than anyone else on their playlist. And you already know it's Spotify, right? So they have, very, very known artists on their playlist. Yeah. And the fact that they listen to DaveOsound more than they listen to anyone else on their playlist, which, that could be anybody. That could be G-Eazy, that could be Lil Wayne. And the fact that they listen to my music more than that, and the number is over 100, 200 people, that's already telling me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you got a loyal fan base, like you said. You have people that actually mess with you for your music.
Exactly.
They like your style.
Exactly, yeah.
No, that's dope. Also, you mentioned, working with Zero or even connecting with Sway Lee, right? So, have you had any big artists or labels reach out to you since you've been making music?
I've had a few labels reach out to me, and I've honestly, some of them I didn't even email back, even though they were big labels, just because I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. People ask me why. Like, why why do you not like give yourself a chance at doing this whole like, you know, becoming famous thing? And the answer is, like I said, I'm an electrician, you know, so I just do the whole music thing on the side. And that's what people find so impressive. They're like, how impressive. They're like, how do you live this rapper lifestyle, you know, savage, you know, have fun, party VIP sections, have all these famous friends, and then still maintain a whole career, you know, and do very well in your career. And that's how, you know, I have to find the balance, you know. So if I sign myself to a major record label, first of all, I don't trust it. I just don't. Like you were saying, people that don't know exactly, you know, how everything works, which I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm a genius in the music industry. I'm real. I'm not, you know.
You're still learning every day.
And all that stuff, like I'm not a genius. So, I mean, let's just say Def Jam or somebody hits me up, or, I mean, honestly, no. If Atlantic Records hits me up and flies me out, talks to me, you know what I'm saying? I might have to sign a deal, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of these other labels that have hit me up, they've been smaller labels and labels that I think will screw me over in the long run. So I don't even give them the time of day. I don't even reply to the emails, you know.
That's crazy. So on the other side, though, have you had any big artists reach out to you?
Big artists reach out to me. I've had people with a lot of followers on Instagram reach out to me. But as far as to like huge artists, like big artists, no. I mean, no, I haven't.
All right, okay, so have you had any artists in general, big or small, reach out asking for a feature?
Oh yeah, no, I mean you can. No, I have there's an artist named Days Dakota, and he lives in what is it, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
And we have like 2 or 3 songs together, and those 2 songs are one of his most streamed songs.
That's dope.
He shows me videos of him performing it, and people will literally all rap along to my verse, you know.
That's
and then
crazy.
I got this song. I was in the studio in Lake Charles. This was right after Hurricane Harvey. And this dude, Jay Deuce, was like, hey, you want to hop on my song real quick or whatever? And I was like, let's do it, you know? Like, let's do it. Because I was already there in the studio. So we both, me, him, and this artist named Tim Bean, we all wrote our verses in like maybe under 30 minutes. We got straight in there. He pulled up the beat. We recorded the song. Then he put it on Apple Music. You can look up Harvey right now. Feed DaveOsound. And it's just the quick stuff that happens like that. But yes, I have a lot of people that DM me and they're like, hey, how much for a feature, bro? This and that. A lot of people want to do a lot of songs with me, you know, and I don't really just accept anybody, you know. I have to actually like them as an artist and as, you know.
Build that relationship first.
Like I said, man, like I'm financially stable, right? And I'm one of those people that I choose being real over money.
Facts. I love that.
Right?
You know, I would say I love the fact that not only are you working with other artists that's out the state, you know, because you branching out, but the fact that you found your passion and you doing what you love. Like you say, it's not about the money. It's just about making music.
It's a hobby, man. Really, it's a hobby. You know, just like people want to go fishing after work.
Yeah.
I want to hit up the studio, sip a little bit of Casamigos, and make a song. You know, that's just
facts.
Yeah, that's just literally my hobby. It's what I love to do, and nothing's ever gonna change that. You know, I've had, you know, I've I'm not gonna say dated, but I've come and talk good contact with women that are, you know, we're trying to get a little more serious or whatever, and then they say, hey, this whole music thing or whatever, I don't like the way that all these girls that, you know, have all these followers and stuff like that are reaching out to you and this and that, and that you're living this, you know, hanging out with these famous people and all these girls in the club, you know, and these VIP sections. Like, I want you to kind of stop that. If you want to stay with me, I'm like, bye.
Yeah.
Adios.
So with that being said, would you prefer to date another female artist or someone that's not in the industry at all?
I have actually. There's a few artists. One of them is actually like a country artist, and she's so beautiful. Yeah, I'm not gonna say any name, but we talked about making like a country rap kind of song. And then I've had other artists that sing very well, you know, and they're talking about collabing on a song and hanging out. So yes, I've had quite a few actually that we've actually hung out and everything, and they're artists that are also featuring big artists as well, and they're mostly vocalists. So if crazy. I do settle down or anything with one of them, we'll probably make our own little project and everything. But I feel like at this point that might be the best route, because realistically a lot of women aren't gonna like, you know, the lifestyle I'm living outside, you know. Like, hey, I'll be right back. I'm going
to the studio, or I'm going for a feature, a photo shoot, video shoot. Exactly, yeah. Man, that's crazy. So is there anyone that you want to collab with that you haven't?
Yeah, there actually is. So, like I said, I have that song Land of the Trill from Port Arthur and everything. And from Port Arthur, born in Port Arthur, Bun B. That's one artist that, and I have two friends. The guy I'm heading to the studio right now, he was just hanging out with him a few days ago. So I mean, that's one artist that I would like to make a song with soon, which I believe is very possible. I've already talked to Paul Wall's manager about possibly making a song. I mean, if you like think about it, from what I'm saying too, and the artist that I am collabing with right now, like the song with Zero coming out, I kind of want to stick to the whole H-Town,
Makes sense.
Texas trill type of vibe, But I mean, obviously, if I can collaborate with an artist that's huge, like let's just say I put Tory Lanez on a hook. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm just being realistic, you know what I'm saying? So if I stay in the Houston, where I already know the people the people in my contacts,
Exactly.
It'll be a lot easier for me to do that. And on top of that, it'll mean more to me, just growing up, like listening to these people and then making songs with them,
Makes sense.
Like people think might think like, oh, look, you got a song with Zero. That's crazy, dude. Never going to happen again. Watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could definitely happen. If it happened once, it can happen again.
Every Houston All-Star, dude. I'll do it. Like anything I say I'm going to do, I will do it,
Most definitely. I was going to say, shit, all you really got to do is just put your mind to it and make it happen.
That's all you got to do, bro.
Facts. So you have talked about, being in Houston, being in Port Arthur, and having, a lot of people from the city that support you, right? So how do you feel about artists who feel like they need to leave the city or wherever they're from, to get more exposure or more traction? Do you think it's a good idea or?
Honestly, with the population in Houston, if you have to leave Houston because the fact that nobody listens to your music, that's probably a bad sign, bro. Like, I don't want to, be a complete asshole about it, but if all these millions of people and not a few, 50 people can show up to a show, you should maybe, I don't know, just work on your music, see what you're doing wrong. You're doing something wrong if you have to leave Houston. Now, if you're talking about leave a small town to a bigger city, that's a whole different thing,
Definitely. So, can we get into this EP that's coming out?
Oh, yeah. So basically, I was in New Orleans. I was living in New Orleans for the last 5 months, which was a huge blast. And I had about 3 or 4 songs that were just throwaways. I wasn't going to do anything with them. But I was so busy with work and working on my career outside of the music hobby that I didn't make really any new music. So I linked up with this audio engineer in Metairie who's worked with very big artists as well. And he was like, hey, like, let's revive them. Let me recreate the mix and master. We'll switch up the beat a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You change the lyrics a little bit. So I did that. So some of those songs are songs that are supposed to be in the trash, and I've had people listen to snippets. Like I just showed you. I mean, I just showed you like a few of them already. And you're like, damn, that quality is crazy. It's because the mic he had was one of the best mics I've ever recorded on. His skill set when it came to mix and mastering was just amazing. So I'm just looking forward to it, and if this does well, it's gonna be a 5-song EP, right? Okay. And so all the songs are just chill, and like 2 out of I think 3 of them maybe they're kind of about like a little bit of like heartbreak, kind of chill like vibe, like most of my music's all energetic, like East Coast energy, all that stuff. They got songs that like kind of like get you hyped up and everything, like work out to. Well, this EP right here is kind of like chill, like laid back. You might think about your ex, cry a little bit, So, because I got like 2 or 3 songs that are literally just about like, some heartbreak kind of stuff. Not saying I haven't heartbroken or anything, but I just know that's what people want to hear right now. And so I was like, you know what? Let me do it.
Most definitely.
Put it out.
So can we get into for one, the name of the EP, and then 2, the date that it'll be dropping?
Okay, so as y'all know, my whole theme is electricity, right? So voltage is electricity.
Gotcha.
So Trill Voltage was my first album because, Trill, Port Arthur.
Makes sense.
Voltage.
Yeah.
That's my theme. So basically, I had Trill Voltage, and I was trying to think of a name for this EP, right? Because it was so chill, but it also had some, like, think of your ex type shit, Yeah. So I was thinking about some heartbreak, whatever, and then I was like, you know what? And then I just got to thinking, and it was one night, and I was like, Trill Voltage. This EP is so chill. Boom. Chill Voltage.
Chill Voltage.
You got Trill Voltage, you got Chill Voltage.
And it's stuck.
So there's a little EP called Chill Voltage, and it just stuck with me. And I was like, that's the one, And then now, like, I'm working on the cover art right now. That's, like, kind of like a glacier with lightning. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just something with, like, ice with lightning, like a frozen lightning. Something I haven't.
So are you creating this art, or do you have someone creating it for you?
That's the thing, too. Like, you can look at the cover arts, right? They're not good at all. You know, like people, I've had Spotify playlist pitches that have like been on like big playlists, and the person that I was working with that was doing a little bit of marketing at the time that I was attempting, he said that they rejected it because they loved the music so much that the cover art wasn't good for their playlist.
Oh man.
But the thing is I made all of those from scratch, just like I made some of them in a few hours, you know, because like I said, it's just a hobby. Like I don't care. Like I'm, you know, listen to the music, you know.
It's more about the music than the artist.
Then I started realizing how important a cover art is, because that's the first thing the listener is going to see. You know,
it's like a thumbnail for like a YouTube video or something.
Exactly.
It's something that's going to grab their attention.
Exactly, yeah. So, in that perspective, I've grown as an artist. You know, I kind of know what to do and what not to do.
Makes sense.
You know, I just went about it like, hey, it's a hobby. I'm going to make something real quick and just throw it out, you know, and just see what happens. And now it's like, okay, hold on. Let me think for a second. Like, is this cover art going to get pitched to playlist? You know, is this song going to be catchy enough? Is it too long? Are they going to lose their attention span? I'm starting to think more like an actual professional artist, and I feel like I've grown in that aspect over the time. You're
starting to learn and you're starting to grow. And one thing I like to say is it's a little small quote that I've been saying recently, and it just goes like, you start to learn that it'll disappear. So if you put that into perspective, just kind of think about it. First you learn, right?
Yeah.
Then you remove the L. And then what happens?
And then you earn.
Exactly.
Yep.
You learn first and then you earn, because you learn from all your mistakes. And I just kind of love to say that, because it kind of makes you think. And it's also like, you know, everybody want to make money, but they don't want to learn how to make money. They just want fast money. Exactly. People just want to be rich, and they want to skip the process in a sense. But back on the music side, did you give us the date for the EP? So
the exact date for the EP, I know it's going to be next month, and I've been kind of skeptical about the date. Gotcha. Just because I can really drop it whenever. That's the thing. I don't have like a specific like whenever, but according to, I'm actually heading to the studio after this interview, and I'm actually going to finish the last song on it. So according to my calculations, I should be able to drop it on the date of the 11th of next month. Okay, perfect. So everybody listening, make sure y'all on the lookout. August 11th. Yes, that is the date. Most definitely. And you know, lucky number 11. That's why I chose that. So I was gonna say, when it comes to your music, what would you say your style or your genre of music is? It's hip hop. I mean, obviously it's hip hop, but I mean, I've got songs like the song Rockstar Mode on my last EP called Ghost, which I dropped that EP Ghost because I literally went ghost on everybody. I didn't make music for a year. Yeah, for a year. Besides the song Thankful, the year before I dropped on Thanksgiving, and it's actually doing pretty well. Speaking of asking about streaming, that's one of the most streamed songs for some reason, which I don't know why, but it is. So basically, yeah, that's it. Most definitely. I kind of want to touch on mental health just a little bit, because I know, especially with a lot of artists and men in general, they go through a lot of mental things, like I say, when it comes to mental health, but a lot of people like to hold it in. So how would you say you deal with that? Well, honestly, I use music to vent a lot, you know, and that's part of my hobby, you know. But I mean, everybody goes through things, you know. But when it comes down to it, like, how you feel should have no bearing on how you live your life. If you can learn to wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I feel depressed or I feel sad, just throw that to the side and be like, but what do I have to do? Exactly. What do I have to do today? And you still do what you're supposed to do, you will be successful. That's literally all it takes. Because if you just lay in bed and be like, oh, I feel sad, what is that going to do for you? Yeah. The only person that can truly help you is yourself. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. The only person that can truly help you is yourself. If you do not maintain self-discipline and be positive, you will not get anywhere. So if you're going through anything, like, I love you, you're going to get through it. But at the same time, you have to do it for yourself. You have to do what you're supposed to do regardless of how you feel. Definitely. And I was going to say, I really love the fact that you mentioned self-discipline, because it's something that I read every single day, which is my lock screen. And it goes, you may not always be motivated, so you must learn to be disciplined. Yeah. And you got to think about that. Like, man, like you said, as long as you have self-discipline, you're going to, you know, you'll stay focused in a sense. Yeah, that's everything. And that's like, you know, last time we hung out at the press junket, you know, it was just, you know, I was a lot I was bigger,
A little bit
and I wanted to
bigger.
get back in shape, and I had to put my mind to it. Well, so I did this thing where I wanted to eat less and work out more and this and that, and I had to cut out my alcohol intake, and I had to cut out eating big meals and things that I like to do, and so that took a lot of self discipline. And then guess what? I like did self discipline for myself. I learned self discipline, and look at me now. I accomplished my goal. Now I'm starting to get back in shape. I lost the fat I needed to lose. Now I'm going to start working out. I wake up in the morning and I go run a mile. Before I'd be like, oh, I'll just sleep in.
So you work out every day?
Workout is in like start hitting the gym and stuff.
Yeah. Or yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gym
Yes.
or
Yeah, I'm
running
about
or
to start working
anything.
out every day. Yes.
Okay.
Now I would do a lot of cardio. That's what I've been doing, just cardio,
Gotcha.
because like I said, I wanted to get in shape. I could go run a few miles right now and not even sweat. Like I don't.
Makes sense.
I'm in good shape when it comes to cardio, and it's so good for you too. It keeps you so healthy and eating healthy as well. That's a big thing. I have not been sick one time this whole year,
Man,
and it gives you so
great.
much mental clarity as well.
That's great, man. So, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Keep God first.
I like
Honestly,
that.
just keep God first, and never choose friends over family. Your family's gonna be there till the end, and just be happy. Literally, just to me, one of the main things about life is our whole purpose here is just to live and learn and be happy. That's
Most
the main
definitely.
thing. So if you're not happy, you're not really living life, and you have to ask yourself, why am I not happy? Okay. Once you decide why you're not happy, just fix it. Don't be sad about it. Just fix the problem. If you can't fix it, find a way around it and just find something else that will distract you from it, and just find a way to be happy and just do it.
Like Nike, just do it, like you said.
Just do it like Nike.
Man.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the EP, right?
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What can we be expecting from DaveOsound moving forward from the end of 2023 going into 2024?
Yeah. So basically, right now, what's on the calendar as far as the music is, the EP is going to drop. It's going to be Chill Voltage. It's going to have 5 songs on it. One of them is just a freestyle where I just straight went in. And it's 3 chill songs. And then I made another song about the valley, South Padre Island, 956, because I have some family out there. I have a lot of friends out there. They've been requesting me to make a song. I had formatted it a while back. I decided to bring it to life. So I'm going to put that on there. I'm excited about that.
Wow.
And then I'm From Texas featuring Zero. I'm planning on dropping it this year. However, if I do what I'm kind of thinking about doing and get this other artist on it, which is going to be a surprise, then it's going to be dropped next year. But as of now, actually, I'm going to keep it short and simple. I think I am going to go ahead and just drop that this year, and then that other artist is going to be another song. So yeah, you can look forward to Chill Voltage. You can look forward to the hit Texas anthem called From Texas featuring Zero. DaveOsound featuring Zero. That sounds so good.
DaveOsound featuring Zero, man.
Yeah.
I just love to hear it.
Yeah, it sounds so good. So basically, that's what you got to look forward to this year. And then while I was there in Metairie, working with who I was working with, who revived some of my old songs, which basically all I'm doing is getting everything that I have on my laptop, I'm just kind of getting it out there. So I actually recorded 5 new songs as well that I'm planning to drop in the future. And that next album, next year, it's going to be amazing. I mean, I have some songs on there that I surprised myself. I mean, they're incredible. So you can look forward to, from this point on, me doing nothing but advancing in my career.
Most definitely.
In my hobby, which it might become a career. Who knows? It just depends if y'all listen or not.
So, how many songs would you say you have still in the vault that's unreleased?
Unreleased, including the EP?
Yeah.
Maybe like 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of music that we still looking forward to.
Yeah, and then I got songs with other artists, like you were saying, like artists that wanted to feature me or wanted to feature them. They're all sitting in the vault. That's a whole separate 12 songs.
Dang,
I was thinking about dropping this little project called Features with Friends and just have 8 songs with just straight, talented artists.
Oh, I like that too. See, that's a dope idea. So, what is one message you would like to give to your fans and your supporters that's watching?
I love y'all. Thank you so much for listening to me, for letting my music inspire you, influence you, for supporting me, even though you can see that, I don't have this huge fan base or anything, but you guys take the time of day to put me on shuffle, to add me to your playlist. I can just imagine, a Drake song comes on, and then the next thing you know, a DaveOsound song comes on, and then the next song might be a Jay-Z song, and just the fact that I'm, on that playlist, it makes me feel good. So thank you so much for being supportive, honestly, and I really appreciate it, and I love y'all, every single one of y'all that actually bumped DaveOsound, and especially y'all that spread the word about it. I mean, I've had people tell me, hey, I showed this to my friends. I put a few of my buddies on the DaveOsound.
Oh yeah, that's
Like a
what's
lot
up.
of girls, hey, I played at this party, and these other my girlfriends liked it, so I sent them the link. Like sharing my music, that's the key to my
That's
heart
real
right there.
support right
'Cause,
there, and
like you
real
already supported,
supporters.
that's one thing. If you supported enough to share it, that's just the same way you feel about it. You're just helping someone else feel that same way about it. So it's like I
Most
said, I
definitely.
say I do it for me, but I really do it for y'all.
So for someone that's wanting to reach out to you, whether it's for a collab or even advice, where can they find you?
The best course of action if you want to work with me is going to be my email. And that's going to be DaveOsound, DaveOsound at gmail.com. It's just my artist name at gmail.com if you were to need a feature or anything like that. And then I'll have my team review it. If we like it, I'll get back with you on a price and everything, and then we can make that happen. If you're a fan or anything like that just wants to talk, or like you said, if you're going through a tough time or whatever, you can
Yeah.
DM me. I'll talk to you. I mean, I'm not the type of guy I'd be like, oh, I'm not gonna respond to my message request. I'll open them up, and like I've had people tell me, hey, I love your song, whatever. They're in my message request, and I'll open it up, approve it to my general messages, and I'll say thank you so much. Like thank you, I appreciate it.
That's
So
real.
you can DM me, same thing, Instagram, DaveOsound. If you ever want to talk, I'm not the type of guy. I'm humble.
Most definitely, most definitely. So for all the viewers that want to stream your music, and then also if they want to follow you, where can they find you?
Same thing.
Okay. No.
DaveOsound,
So I
everything.
mean,
Oh, you're
outside
talking
of the
about
name,
platforms.
yeah, yeah. So platforms, where can they stream your music?
Okay, so I'm on every platform.
Okay.
Every platform, yeah. Apple Music, Spotify, Google Music,
Everywhere. YouTube,
iHeartRadio,
iHeart.
YouTube. I just mostly have lyric videos on YouTube, and they're mostly all East Coast Energy. That's where I've kind of messed up a little bit by not putting all of my music on YouTube. All of my music, if you want to hear everything, it's Apple Music. That's where I get probably 70% of my streams are from Apple Music. That's what I pay attention to. I also have my music on Spotify. Like I said, I've done zero promotion on there. I've done I mean, you can listen to it on Spotify, but you'll see the numbers are low when it comes to monthly listeners and all that.
Makes sense, makes
But
sense.
after this song drops, things are about to change. I'll tell you that right now.
No, definitely, most definitely. Well, we definitely appreciate you again for giving us your time and coming out, and we definitely look forward to working with you again.
Hell yeah, man! I appreciate you having me out here, honestly, and I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be back in Houston, and I'm glad that I had the time to actually complete this interview with you, as we talked about doing, like what, a year and a half
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, about a year and a half
Yeah.
ago.
Hey, we're busy people,
No,
but hey,
most
we made it
definitely.
happen.
And
So,
we made it happen. And honestly, that's all that matters is that we was able to come together and give the supporters and the fans what they want to see.
yep.
Most definitely. No, we out.